So television shows have certainly changed over the years, right? However, there are a few classics that have really become part of our culture.
Right here on Pix 11, we're taking a look at some of them in a special series titled TV We Love. And here with the preview is Jim Colucci, pop culture historian and TV We Love contributor. Good morning to you, Jim. Great to see you.
Good morning. Great to see you.
So tell us a little bit about the show, TV We Love. It's a multi-part special, right? Focusing on different TV shows from back in the day.
It is. It's an 8-part docuseries. It premieres this Monday, October 13th, and runs for the next 8 Mondays. And it is about shows that really changed our world, changed our lives, shaped who we are. I can say that for me, definitely. Growing up in Wayne, New Jersey, and getting up at 9 a.m. on a snow day or a sick day to kick off my day with an I Love Lucy rerun at a New York station. I mean, those are some of my fondest memories. And every show that we talk about, I Love Lucy, The Honeymooners, Cheers, Happy Days, Dynasty, Touched by an Angel, I'm forgetting one.
The Brady Bunch.
List them all off. The Brady Bunch. How could I forget the Brady Bunch? Of course, that's actually our second episode. Yeah, all shows that, like Brady Bunch, I would watch again in local syndication every time I got home from school. And these are shows that really meant so much to us. I think they're part of our common language as Americans, and not just Americans. This is stuff that people enjoyed around the world.
Yeah, so let's kick it off and talk about I Love Lucy, right? I mean, my favorite episode of I Love Lucy is the chocolate episode where we're on the conveyor belt eating all the chocolate.
Yes.
But what did I Love Lucy do that no sitcom had ever done before?
Well, I Love Lucy did everything that no sitcom had ever done before, because really it was one of the first. And particularly, you can talk about it in any of many ways, but for example, in technical ways, there was no such thing as the rerun when I Love Lucy was being filmed, because they had never filmed sitcoms. They would just broadcast them out into the ether, and then for the West Coast, they'd have to be filmed with what was called a kinescope, which was literally like taking a picture of your TV.
Oh my gosh.
Desi Arnaz figured out a way to bring in the right technicians to light a studio for an audience, bring in chairs for an audience. All of this stuff was new that we take for granted now in the shows we've enjoyed for the past 75 years. And then when you talk about the quality of the comedy and Lucy's timing and even Fred and Ethel's timing and Desi's timing and the contributions they've made to the world of comedy and how they've influenced generations who followed, who became comic performers, there's no way to overstate what I Love Lucy means to sitcoms.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about Fred and Ethel, because they really weren't just sidekicks, right? What do we learn about them? William Frawley and Vivian Vance?
Yeah, the miracle of so many TV shows that we remember as fondly as we remember I Love Lucy is that the casting had to be exactly right. And for a lot of foursomes, whether it's the Lucy foursome or whether it's Will and Grace or whether it's the family, the fivesome, and Everybody Loves Raymond, had any one of those actors been wrong, the show would not be what we're talking about, All in the Family. And Vivian Vance and William Frawley had to live up to the high standards set by Lucille Ball, as we know, one of the funniest people ever to be on television. And they did. They could keep up with them comic beat for comic beat. And they were cast just so perfectly. I think it was so interesting that they cast an older man with a younger woman, and yet that's something you'd find in real life. I think it lent to the feeling of reality of the show, and yet as comic performers, they were up to the task. And had they not been, it wouldn't be a show we'd still be talking about. Yeah,
I mean, we talked about some of our memories. By the way, Will and Grace, they did an episode which was reenacting scenes from I Love Lucy, so it kind of paid homage to the greats before them, right? But what are some of your favorite memories of the show?
Oh, my favorite memories of I Love Lucy, I think like you said, I love the conveyor belt, the candy factory, and all the things we all remember. Vitamina Vegemin, getting drunk doing the commercial.
Stomping
grapes in Italy, yes. And then there's one that people don't talk about as much that I just love, where she's wearing the heavy headdress, the tropical headdress, and she's trying to walk down the movie stage, the stairs on the movie stage for her big break. But, you know, the thing that I know that it sounds maybe maudlin, but I remember watching it with my family, and the feeling that it gives me the most, even more than the laughs, is hearing my mom laugh from the kitchen as I was watching it at home, and realizing, oh, this was something she loved as a kid. And it is funny because, you know, we always think that the things our parents loved are old and corny, right? But in this case, it was something we could love together, and I'll always remember that.
Well, it was appointment television, which doesn't happen anymore.
Yes, right, exactly.
Everyone just streams it.
We talk about in the 50s how people bought TVs so they could see Lucy, and they watched them in shop windows. We were all watching the same thing back then.
Yeah, I mean, what amazes me is that it still resonates with people now. What do you think it is about classic TV that makes people want to kind of step back in time?
I think there's so many things. I think for one thing, the shows we're talking about really hold up, and they are still objectively funny today. That's one thing. But I think the other thing is that feeling of nostalgia is something we're chasing, particularly as the times politically get really divided and we find ourselves on different sides. This is something that unites us, and we all remember laughing at and with together. And we all are, I think, chasing that feeling. It's a wonderful thing to relive.
Well, it wasn't so saturated either.
Yeah.
It was a time where there were a few good shows and a few good sitcoms that everybody talked about, and now there's just an oversaturation that it's like, did you see that show? No. I mean, we talk about it every morning. Did you see that show?
But do you know what I miss? I miss the good theme song. Like, here's the story of a lovely lady. Like, we don't get those anymore. Right?
No, it was one of the first things to go, I think, as broadcast networks started trying to make room for more commercials. They said, oh, the theme songs go. And yeah, it's something I really miss because again, the theme songs get in our minds and they unite us. We could all sing them together, whether what side of the political spectrum you're on. And I think they've rotted my brain because there are things I should be remembering from that I learned in high school chemistry class that I will never remember because I know how many castaways there were on Gilligan's Island.
Right, but you know the whole theme song to Golden Girls. Thank you for being you can sing the whole thing.
How about you take the good, you take the bad, you take them all, you have the facts of life.
Exactly, you're hitting all the classics. And how much more fun is it to sing those together than it is to argue? I love it.
Step by step, day by day. All right, Jim, we can keep name that tune on all day, but your show, TV We Love, is premiering this Monday, 8 p.m. on Pix 11, right here, the home of the CW. Great stuff, Jim.